Call to order the November 14th, 2016 Latrobe City Council meeting. Please all stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I'll ask for a moment of silence to give thanks, to ask for guidance, or to just quietly relax. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Buck. Mr. Bartels?
Here.
Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mrs. Weller?
Here.
Mr. Forge? Mr. Baldmary?
Here.
Ms. Beasy?
Here.
Mayor Walker? Here. 6 present. Okay. At this time, we have some proclamations, so I would ask if the members of the Grubel family would please come forward. Whereas on October 3rd, 2016, Joseph E. Ice Cream Joe Grubel departed this earth for the great ice cream parlor in the sky. And whereas Joseph Grubel was born with ice cream in his veins as a result of both his great-grandfather and father having served ice cream to Latrobe Dairy residents. And whereas Joe was the president and board chairman of Valley Dairy Restaurants from 1989 to 2009. Over the years, he was the spokesperson for the family business in the person of Ice Cream Joe. And whereas Joe enjoyed being with people, laughing with them, and bringing joy to all he met. And whereas Joe was instrumental in helping to establish the city of Latrobe as the birthplace of the banana split and the creation of the banana split stamp. And whereas Joe was an ambassador for the greater Latrobe area, whose charm and smile will be greatly missed. Now therefore, the mayor, on behalf of City Council and the citizens of Latrobe, extends to the family of Joseph Grubel our admiration, respect, and gratitude for all he has done and meant to Latrobe. Joe's life can best be summed up by the cartoonist Charles M. Schulz. Happiness is liking what you do as well as doing what you like. Proclaimed under the Great Seal of the City of Latrobe this 14th day of November 2016. May I have members of the Mr. Palmer family? Anyone here? Okay, we're going to read Mr. Palmer's proclamation and then we'll send it to his family. And this is proclamation honoring Arnold D. Palmer. Whereas the citizens of the city of Latrobe and its governmental family deeply mourn the loss of Arnold Palmer, And whereas he was an icon and ambassador for the sport of golf, as well as for his hometown, Latrobe. And whereas there are many qualities of Arnie that have endeared him to millions around the world. And whereas during his marvelous career, he won 92 professional tournaments, including 7 majors. He later left his imprint on the sport as an architect and designer of numerous golf courses. And whereas for his life's accomplishments, he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, an honor reserved for very few athletes. And whereas this everyman's golfer, through his unbelievable career, attracted people from all walks of life to his beloved sport. And whereas through all of his success, Arnie always remembered and cared for Latrobe, saying that his hometown was not a place where you are from, but it is who you are. And whereas he served as a member of the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport Authority, generously supported the Latrobe Area Hospital and the Greater Latrobe School District, the Arnold Palmer Fieldhouse, the Winnie Palmer Nature Reserve, and many other worthwhile causes. And whereas social worker John Ruskin reflected that the first test of a great man is humility. Arnie passed this test with flying colors. Kindness in words created confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. Now therefore, the Mayor, on behalf of City Council and the citizens of Latrobe, express our most sincere respect, gratitude, admiration, and love for this native son, this ambassador for Latrobe, this humble and kind gentleman. We will cherish his memory always. Proclaimed under the Great Seal of the City of Latrobe this 14th day of November of 2016. Okay, at this time, may I have approval of the minutes from the October 11th, 2016 meeting? May I have a motion to approve?
I move minutes of the October 11th, 2016 meeting be approved and accepted and be permitted to remain on the Secretary's desk where they will be available for reading and inspection throughout.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. May I have approval of the fiscal department reports and the bills for the month of October 2016?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Beasley. Any questions or discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time we have our citizens' request portion of the meeting. Before we do that, though, we're going to do a little, I'm going to have the revitalization group is here to do a short presentation as to what's going on in Latrobe with the world of revitalization. So Jared Trunzo is going to come up to the microphone and give us a short presentation.
Okay, thanks. I made a quick visual breakdown. Like I said earlier, this covers about a third to maybe half of what we're doing, but it's a snapshot of the overall picture. So my printer also ran out, so I have about 30 printed. There's a few others you guys can share. Okay, everything else is up on our website and on our Facebook page as well. So right now, as many of you know, it's been pretty well covered. We have our facade grant in hand. In the past, we've had work on 1 or 2 buildings at a time. The interest has spiked so much that we have 11 buildings that we are working on currently. It's rather unprecedented. We match dollar for dollar and give free architectural renderings from our design team of architects and design specialists. Right now, on the first page, is Colonial Cleaners. He's been in business for quite some time. That's Bert's building. It's been in good shape. He's been a responsible building owner. It's about a $10,000 project. All new paint, new doors, new awning, and new drop sign extruding outward. We've picked up that theme rather strongly this past year, with the first one being Francesca's, building off of Shakora's sign. Some don't get a full a full facade. They just get a sign. So we will reboot their logo and help them any way we can, and that makes it onto the drop signs that you can see from coming north on Main Street versus walking straight up. Francesca's adjacent to the new parklet. Just quick, she's been in business for about 3 years now, which is great. She, passed that hump of the 2-year test, so to speak, of the new business. We rebooted her logo, and this is just basically the first 10 feet of her building. So we work with, anyone's budget. And in this case, this directional signage, when it went up, I think she had 3 new customers within the first 3 hours of her going up, because I never knew you were here, coming up from Main Street. Then real quick, Computer RX and Aunt Dolly's Emporium. Aunt Dolly's relocated not too long ago. Computer RX, again, all new logo, basic paint. These people are awesome to work with. They love Latrobe. They've been here for quite some time. Got a computer, shoot them a call. But basic paint and new signage went really far here. Same with Aunt Dolly's. As you can see, a little bit more dramatic than Computer RX. Equally as nice. Again, paint, drop signage, and some decal on the window. And again, we will cover half that cost and do multiple renderings to a point. Also, real quick, another snapshot. This isn't comprehensive, but again, just getting snapshots. We have Dr. Purvis's building. We took out the 2 dead trees, put black planters in there, all new paint, lettering, and a drop sign. That's on Jefferson. And then Danceland, which has been going on for quite some time. You see a basic before-after, and you know what we've done there. Some of these have the top right wayfinding sign that I alluded to. Instead of getting a historic marker, this is much more cost-effective, and we can add visuals. This is the first time we've done this. It was just installed Friday, so if you're going down Depot, take a look. It talks about the history of the building and all the steps we take to make this one-of-a-kind facade work. So basically, those historic photos are on that wayfinding sign. And because of the substrate, it was impossible to bring back real windows, so we recreated them based on elements that took place during the 1900s and 1960s. So it's basically windows reflecting what took place on the time period. He's also gotten all new windows, the same glass as the Empire State Building, which is really cool. Thus you see the crane. That's Gibson Thomas. We're just in the planning stages right now. Just sprinkled in there because we are planning with them. Issues with obviously the paint adhering to the aluminum panels there, but we are planning with them through the winter. Next phase is Jocelyn's Beauty Salon. That's on Main. Another great business. The facade sort of looks hidden. We just rebooted her logo, with little scissors, kind of cute there. That'll become a drop sign. And then again, the lessons learned from Computer RX and Aunt Dolly's, you can do a lot with paint. So this gives way to something I'm pretty proud of. Steve Patricia is our design specialist, who's also a historic interpreter. He's an amazing talent. He's also an artist. And, we walked up and down Main Street a lot of times, and we looked at a lot of other towns. And so our friends at the Historical Society, we partner with anybody and everybody. Mary Lou and her team was happy to give us over these buildings when they were first built. So we took that and coupled that with a realistic ability to maybe pull something off. I don't have any groundbreaking announcements yet on Mozart, but this is what it looks like with a complete streetscape, single baluster lighting, street trees, and bringing the exterior, which is an aluminum facade, back to life. So that's our renovation study. We hope to do more of these throughout town. So this is our first section. Other page, I don't want to call it the old people's home. What is this one called?
National Church Residence.
Okay. The old people in the church. On the right, you see the mini gardeners that put in their tulips. They just planted 16,000, not 100 tulips. That team is amazing. I'm just tooting their horn. They're an intimate part of our organization. They're on our design team. We partner and try to do more with little resources. The left, Jim Alter, which is our tree Yoda. the tree whisperer. We planted those trees. They've made it no longer a tripping hazard. And straight ahead, you see the completed facade of the Troutman building. This is sort of the idea. You have a mix of our involvement on the sidewalks, then you have facade further off, and you have responsible building that has already taken initiative with their scape. And then the mini gardener team, imagine if we can extend that momentum further into town, which we're seeing a domino effect of that. Okay, the next page is the corner lot that burned down the Grub and Pub building. I put this in here because we're a year in. It's been about exactly a year since we implemented this generous grant from the Community Foundation in Westmoreland County. This is a combination of event of Mr. Petrini, the Community Foundation, the Pittsburgh Foundation, coming together to understand what we were trying to do here. And you're hard pressed to find people not using that on any given day. So we're really pleased with how much it's been used and stabilized Francesca building, and then the side which will eventually be the theater. The grass is all in. We're going to put in a dedicated water line soon because of we keep begging to use people's hoses. And so we're going to put a dedicated water line in the corner. And then the little excerpt on the right, Fighting Blight in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the Pittsburgh Foundation put out their publication recently, and there's a whole story on Latrobe with This is the Anchor Project, which is pretty neat to see. I didn't know they did that. So good people come together to make this one work. A lot of unsung heroes. The other side, Mayor Rosie had invited us to a PennDOT meeting for the new 981 bridge. It was a really productive meeting. Invited our organization along with Linda Box, who oversees so many of the great trails in this area. And so that was the design that we came up with, that PennDOT accepted a lot of it, not all of it, but thank goodness that there was an openness there on the city. The city manager, PennDOT, all of us coming together to do something neat there. So instead of Jersey barriers without being able to see the little Hannah, I think as Jim noted, we have historic lighting, 8 balusters. Just in this design, the Spring City, we got that request, and also the TXC412, which allows openings in the bridge to see over. So that's awesome. We're excited about that. On the right, I think you guys know this guy. You want to say something, Vince? Okay. Mr. Rogers, Charlie Street signs here. A lot of things start with the McFeely Rogers Foundation. We can't just grab this trolley. So big thanks to Jim Okanak and his foundation for being open to this idea back in the day that Vince initiated. And so basically we're working hand in hand with Public Works and Wayne to make this thing tick, and it's been great. All these new signs are paid for by donations from people who have them given. I think both Mike were up to about 80. Kind of losing track at this point, which is good. So we have another order of about 3 coming in before Christmas.
Yeah,
so
remind me, I need to talk to you about that after this.
Okay, got the point. But it's really starting to look nice. I mean, you're getting row after row now, these things coming in, and some people come in the office with tears in their eyes because of what it means to them for a loved one, and there's so many stories to tell. So some people now walk around town for the specific purpose to see the new ones and reminisce. So it's been really cool. None of this is possible without Public Works, period. So he's been really patient. Right here, he's been patient. So that's going on. Next page is a snapshot of, I lost count of how many organizations came together to make this work. The foundations, Rotary, Mini Gardener Group, Revitalization. So when this building came down, on the left is just a reminder of what we were left with, and on the right is sort of how we made this came to be. This is just a snapshot of so many different areas are seeing this type of stabilization. So the Dollar General, if you look today, a couple weeks ago, they just painted the whole rest of that building. So if you're in the thoroughfare, which is not an alley, right, you'll see that continuation of the black and orange continue back there. And then the trees have, they're grown up nice and so forth, and we secured the side. We've had different lawyers step up to help on this. It was about a $12,000 project. So, also, on this page, you see a lot of Lloyd Avenue and the Wines and Spirits. That's Jim Walter. That's our lead arborist. That's the one called Triota. These were tripping depressions at this point, which were not safe, and went in, planted all new trees, and it's looking a lot nicer. On the right some of those trees were way too big, so they were hitting the box trucks. So we collaborated with the city, and we took them down, in part due to the Community Foundation Westmoreland grant leftover monies, and we raised some more. And now we are on Thursday, if anyone wants to join us. Thursday morning, we're going to be planting 3 new street trees, and the new ones will not buckle the sidewalks. They will also be 1/7 the size of these trees. They're columnar, the orange ones. So they're going to be really nice. EWCTC kids made all those tree guards, about 20 of them. It took them a long time. So also, you see the Clear River Credit Union. Their parklet's amazing. They ordered the benches through our organization to keep the consistency of streetscape, and Public Works threw them in the ground, and that's great teamwork. So if you see Clear River Credit Union, pat them on the back, their parklet is awesome. Chad Roffner, one of our executive board members, is here. Chad has carried the torch with Ron Weimer for many years on Lloyd Avenue. On the left, you'll see what Lloyd Avenue used to look like. I think that's important to remember, the sheer volume of light. It was basic traffic lights on both sides. Cables on both sides, just overhanging and buildings falling apart. Their work has accumulated, the revitalization effort there has been 4.8 mil, or 4.82 million. The new houses you see on just a little snapshot on the right, there's now single baluster lighting and street trees lining Lloyd Avenue. We've come far, we've got further to go, but we also have businesses that have moved in like Household Co-Packers, Dunkin' Donuts, the landscape company, and the expansion of Delphi, who's replacing the sidewalks, which we're a fan of. And also the benches. I don't know if the name's going to live. K-castings. All the benches you see in town are cast at K-castings, which I didn't even know either.
And
So
the signs are made locally too.
Yeah, and the signs are made of special
Street
light, so
signs.
this is really cool. Everything's literally made, not just in America, but they're made in Latrobe, not Latrobe. Post office, worth noting. So many people contributed to this one as well, but I snuck in the quick before picture. We have now hit every perimeter of the post office. It's been a $27,000 investment in total from over 30 sources. That's more than what we're used to dealing with. You see the point up on the top right, and that weird arborvitae that looks like a finger, that's out now facing WCCC. And so we wanted to target the post office because it's not going anywhere. It's your first impression when you come into town. After the bridge comes in at the point, I think the Mini Gardener Group is going to look to expand their flower beds to make something really pop. We put in $7,000 from a family of a young man who passed away on an overdose. So there's new benches in the front and flowering Japanese Kwanji cherry trees, and that's nice as those get bigger, but we want to do more. So this is right by the flag. And then the bottom right, that's the First National Bank Park project. Great collaboration of everybody making this one work. Again, you come into town, you just sort of stared at that big red wall. So we ran some conduits with J.J. Hauser, 3 pedestrian lights, and street trees. We're definitely a fan of lighting downtown. It helps it make safer, it slows traffic. It's a longer version. Okay, I got a couple more minutes here. We're also still eyeing a business incubator. This is looking to be on the 3rd floor of the Katrina Rafferty building. Businesses, startup could come and incubate, stay for almost free. We give them the value-added services of marketing. We retool them, we help them save money off the bat, and then help locate them downtown. They could stay up to 9 months. We're hiring a federal grant to make this happen, and we partnered with the St. Vincent College Small Business Development Center. People that enter this program have an 80% better chance of keeping their business open for over a decade. So a lot of businesses we see that are small go into heavy debt initially. This helps unwind that and retool them right off the bat, give them the best chance of surviving. So we're excited about that. We're applying come December, so we should know something by January. Other things, we've pivoted away from events, more towards economic development. That's no secret, but we still do the Frogtown Vegetable Gardens through the help of many. That John Driscoll's initial vision is continuing. You can rent garden plots. The farmers market, we just hit our 10th year. Berkelita's started at the farmers market and now opened her business in the art center, which is really cool. You see that progression of local entrepreneurs opening their businesses. The top left, that's the Wildcat Belt guy. He decorated his Christmas tree like a banana split. because they they used to own the Strickler's building. So those are for sponsored. We've got all 30. The bottom left, that's our local Latrobe trolley. We're looking to just put that in with chalk around town, spray paint chalk, as a culture of the culture of shopping local and shopping small for this this holiday season. So I can't say that enough. I know we all shop at Walmart at times and eBay and Amazon, but our invitation is to spend $100 extra in addition to your other habits, because you can't break free completely from them. Thus to plug a couple of these real quick awards. This is a reflection of the board of directors, not me, and our volunteers. We were designated as a Main Street program, which has gotten a lot harder anymore. There's less and less towns being able to get designated, so that was a nice honor. We were nationally accredited this past year also. That field has shrunk a lot, so that was kind of neat that we made it. And then they did a new award where they ranked the top 50 programs in the state and narrowed it down to however many from that 50. And yeah, we were ranked the third best or something, so that's cool. A lot of people chipping in. Final picture is a downtown that's not Latrobe. But I love this picture because it's a reminder of where we're trying to go in terms of a safe, well-kept town with full storefronts. So I just sprinkle in there. Any questions? We're still moving along on the same business trail as well, and everything else.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What was the Mozart building? What is it now, and what could it be potentially? Other plans? It's a fascinating building.
It is. Hopefully more soon. I'm not trying to sound like a politician, but we are working on that actively. Right now, Faith Forward Ministries is renting the bottom left of the building. It's a nonprofit. It's in the bottom left as a tenant. And right now it's in private ownership. And yeah, stay tuned. It's a great building. I'm with you. There's only one like it in the world. When we studied it, we think there's only one other that comes close, which is in Austria, Vienna.
What did it start out to be, Jim?
What's that?
What did it start out?
I think
What was it used for originally?
Defer to somebody else. I know there's a restaurant in there, and it was a hall, a banquet hall.
Was it an old opera house?
Yeah, there.
Jim, do you know?
Yeah.
Jim, Mr. Okenek? It was an old opera house? I
I
know you're not that old, but.
Thank you.
And as much as we tout historic preservation, we also recognize that sometimes new buildings need to come into town. We embrace WCCC, and even though we didn't take a stance with the school, we embrace the school as well. Millennials and families are positioning based on safety, recreation, and school districts. And so there's no secret out there that to stay healthy as a town, some of these hard decisions have to be made, and they are hard. But our organization pushes first for historic preservation. We work a lot of hours doing that, but we also recognize, it's balance. So that's it. That's the.
Does anyone have any questions for Jared from council or from the city? We've asked them to come here tonight. We're in our 10th year of our downtown revitalization. I think there have been tremendous accomplishments. Jared had told me earlier that we have 18 new businesses that moved into town since in the last, 5 years? 3 years. 18 new businesses in the downtown. We lost 5, but we got 18. So, we're still plus a lot. And I would like to introduce, for those of you that don't know, Jared Trunzo, who's the executive director of the revitalization program. Tim Dingman, if you wouldn't mind standing up, Tim, is the president of the board. Chad Ruffner, who is also a member of the board of revitalization, has been instrumental in the Lloyd Avenue program. Mr. Jim Okenek from the McPhilly Rogers Foundation and the Latrobe Foundation, and Mr. Vince Petrini, who is an attorney and also has the Guttrini Rafferty building downtown, have been involved in this from day one. And I think we have made a lot of tremendous progress in 10 years, but we aren't done. And we really got a lot of positive motivation.
We're just getting warmed up.
We're just getting warmed up. But as is everything, our funding from the state is about to end. So we're going to need funding to continue, help with funding to continue moving forward. But I think it's important to see the things that we've accomplished. And this is just a small snapshot of the things that we've accomplished. Gentlemen, would anyone else like to add anything? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back to our citizens' request portion of the meeting. Anyone from the audience that would like to speak to council about anything? Yeah. Going once? With a happy bunch here today, okay. There's no citizens' request items. We'll move on to committee reports. Finance. You have the budget? Everybody has the budget? Are you going to amend it for something? Did you?
We're going to talk about the agenda meeting.
Okay. Public safety, public works. Anything? No, nothing new. Personnel committee? Nothing. Events committee?
I wasn't at the meeting. Did we have a meeting, Wayne?
Yeah,
Sorry,
you,
the event
Events.
is canceled.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I know we have Christmas in the neighborhood next Friday.
Right, next Friday is the big for the parade, and Saturday is joining the come down and shop in the downtown area.
Friday after
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
Black Friday.
Is it Friday and Saturday or just Friday?
Well, Friday is the parade and with Santa, and then Saturday there's promoting the businesses
Okay.
and the shopping downtown.
Friday.
Bonfire Friday?
Yes, Friday afternoon.
Birchwood Playground.
What time's the parade going? 1? What time's the parade, 11 or 1?
I think it's 10. No, it's supposed to start 11.
11? And that's Friday. Okay, anything on the student showcase, Julie?
No, we're gonna connect it with Judy.
Okay.
To make sense for probably January.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I
sir.
just wanted to congratulate the Dairy Trojans on our 10-0 season.
Absolutely. It's been a great year for them. Anything on board and authority reports? I don't think we have any. Department reports. Mike?
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Chief Bumar?
Nothing to report, Mayor.
These are my favorite kind of meetings. Everything's going smooth. Chief Brazili?
I'm taking a sabbatical.
You're taking a sabbatical.
Yeah. Everybody else did.
Hands off today. Okay, moving on to the agenda items. Zach?
Sorry, Wayne.
I'm sorry, Wayne?
I'm sorry. I'm distracted.
Behave.
All right.
First item on the agenda is under Planning and Development Department. This is a resolution authorizing an encroachment easement agreement with Janine Bumar. As you'll recall from the agenda session, Ms. Bumar resides at 2000 Sloan Avenue. She has retaining walls that encroach into the public right-of-way on Sloan and Josephine Street, but they don't actually interfere with the road. Those retaining walls have failed, and she has asked the city for an encroachment easement so that she can repair those walls, which may again get her a little closer to the road but won't interfere with the road. So the resolution is approving the city to enter into an encroachment easement agreement with Ms. Bumar. The appropriate action would be to make a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by the solicitor.
May I have a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by the solicitor?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Beasley. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Baldneri. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Buck?
This is Resolution 2016-39. Mr. Baldneri.
Yes.
Mr. Bartels.
Yes.
Ms. Beasley.
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh.
Yes.
Mrs. Weller.
Yes.
Mayor Wolford.
Yes.
That is 6 yes.
Okay, at this time I need a motion to amend the agenda to add for action a resolution declaring the city's intention to amend the zoning code to address the cellular phone towers and to hold public hearings. May I have a motion, please, to amend the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, Zach, you're up.
Yes. This is a resolution of the city, as the mayor described, to declare its intention to amend the zoning code to address the cell phone towers and to hold public hearings. As you'll recall, earlier in the year, by motion, I was given the authority to investigate the preparation of a cell phone tower ordinance. I've gotten to the point now where I'm ready to hold a public hearing on this, and I feel like we have a good ordinance moving forward. Under the pending ordinance doctrine, we're required to declare our intent to amend the zoning code and to hold public hearings on those amendments in order to have our ordinance that we're working on go into effect now instead of later when it's finally passed. So what we would need is a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by the solicitor.
May I have a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by the solicitor?
Make a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by the solicitor.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Since this item was not on the agenda, I would open up questions and discussion to the public. If anyone has any questions regarding this motion. Ms. Buck?
This is Resolution 2016-40. Mr. Bellinari?
Yes.
Mrs. Weller?
Yes.
Mr. Bartels?
Yes.
Ms. Beasy?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mayor Wolford?
Yes.
There's 6 yes.
At this time, I would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda for review of the land development plan for the Greater Latrobe School District. May I have a motion to amend the agenda?
Make a motion to amend the agenda.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now I need a motion to approve the development plans for the Greater Latrobe School District, including conditions as set forth by the Planning Commission.
I'll make a motion to approve everything you just said. The planning, report by the school board.
Thank you. These plans, wait, and I need a second. Okay, any questions or discussion? These plans have been approved by the Planning Committee. So basically, this is just kind of a pass-through or a ceremonial approval, so to speak. But since it was not on the agenda, I will open it up to the public. If anyone has a question regarding this motion of approving these plans that have already been approved by the Planning Commission. Okay?
I do have a
Yes.
question.
Yes, sir.
Is the building going to be black and orange? Most of it.
Part of it.
I would like to make a comment. It's a great day for the city of Fayette.
It is
It's a great day.
Yes, it is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Happy to say the motion carries unanimously.
Next on the agenda is under Administration and Finance Department. This is a motion to authorize the advertisement of openings on the City of Latrobe boards and authorities. If I could just get a motion to that effect.
May I have a motion to authorize for advertising for boards and authorities?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
May I have a second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That's it for agenda items. Unfinished business. We're going to talk burn ordinance, aren't we? No? Yes? You got the copies of the ordinance, correct? From Zach? Yes.
I was gonna say, I thought we can discuss it at the agenda meeting.
Okay.
That'll give you, everybody a chance to kind of read it. I mean, being Zach just sent it out.
I read it,
I
but
didn't know it was going to be on the agenda.
it's not on the agenda. I just thought I'd ask where, I mean, everyone got the copy of, there are two different proposals, correct?
Yes, I prepared two different versions. One version allows for the burning of wood materials at an increased distance from sensitive structures, houses, fences, trees, and then has a shorter setback requirement for UL listed commercially available apparatuses. And then the second ordinance was just for propane, natural gas, and charcoal UL listed devices.
Okay. So we'll talk about that at the agenda session. Any other unfinished business? Okay, I have one item of new business. Sir, would you come forward, please?
Okay, this is John Kiesel, and he asked that I recognize November 17th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day. He has a family history of pancreatic cancer in his family, and so I am going to read this proclamation declaring November 17th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the city of Latrobe. Whereas in 2016, an estimated 53,070 people in the United States will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest cancers, and 41,780 will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer has surpassed breast cancer this year to become the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and is projected to become the second leading cause by 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digit at just 8%. And whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 71% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis. And whereas approximately 2,090 deaths will occur in Pennsylvania in 2016. Whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death in men and women across the world. Whereas there will be an estimated 418,451 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed worldwide in 2020. Whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of the city of Latrobe were enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. Now therefore, the mayor, on behalf of the council of the city of Latrobe and its citizens, hereby proclaim November 17th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the city of Latrobe. This proclamation is issued under the Great Seal of the city of Latrobe this 14th day of November 2016 to help raise awareness.
Very much. Thank you, Council. Yeah, I'll just regard, my mother passed away 6 years ago, or 8 years ago, I'm sorry, 8 years ago from pancreatic cancer. Never expected to hear it come to me because it's not a genetic disease by any means. I was diagnosed, it'll be 2 years at the end of January, so my survival rate is longer than most, which I'm grateful for, but there's been some turns in the road, some problems. I've developed new tumors, but it is what it is. There's no cure for it. All we can do is keep fighting and hope to pass along to future generations. So. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Are there any comments? We're back to open request for open forum for citizens' requests. Anyone in the audience? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ron Strayer, Highland Avenue, Latrobe. I'm here to talk about the discussion we started last month about internet provider, cable providers here in Latrobe. Since then, I've done some research, read your contract between Comcast and Latrobe, and it basically says it's a non-exclusive contract. I understand that. And I understand the franchise fees, and it's a part of us doing business as a community. However, I'm going to put the blame on the administration and the council of the city of Latrobe in that it has not represented the businesses or the residents on their best behalf by looking for another alternative for us to have another provider.
I will. I wasn't here at that meeting. I was out of town, but I did hear about it. And one thing I would caution you about, because I've tried myself to get other internet service. It's not out there for this area right now. So unfortunately, I think Comcast has a bit of a monopoly in this town. But I know I went to a different cable network service for my TV and tried to get different internet service, and I couldn't because they're not here. There's no lines available and all that kind of stuff. If you already have Verizon, you're fine, but if you want to try to get Verizon or AT&T or some of these other ones, there's just not a lot of options. But Wayne, you and I talked about this, and you had something I think you wanted to add.
Well, again, it's there, you're correct, and I wasn't at the meeting either, or I would have explained that it is a non-exclusive contract. Any company that wants to come in there and offer cable, they're welcome to. The only problem is that they've got to put the infrastructure in, and there's a cost. But we would welcome any cable company that wants to come in. Obviously, the city would have to negotiate an agreement with them for any customers they do provide.
Okay, I understand all that. In the meantime, and I even brought up, I had spoken with citizens, which is all around us. They are more than willing to build into Latrobe. They're not asking you for money. However, they need public awareness that they are available. So they need awareness from the people, and I think the leadership of the city should help promote that.
I would love to have options.
Then I ask that you reach out to citizens
But
and see what you can do as a
all we can
government.
do is basically put out there that we are going to, be entertaining.
They're welcome to come in. I mean, if they want to contact me, or they're certainly welcome to come in and talk to me. It's up to them if they want to create the investment.
They do, they do if they get enough interest. It's going to take us to make people aware that there is another alternative.
And this agreement's what, 10 years, 5 years?
10.
I think it's a 5-year agreement.
And it's coming to the end of that 5 year, I
It was
believe.
just renegotiated 14 for 10 years.
3 years ago, halfway through it? The time just blurs together, but at any rate, I don't know that they're, they weren't as visible back then either, but yeah, I mean, it's really kind of up to them to come to us.
Okay.
I'd love to have options. I think we all would love to have options.
As a government, you should help the people by trying to initiate awareness and education. I mean, I don't know what your jobs are.
How would you suggest you do that?
It's certainly,
Pick up the phone and say, what could we do, and have a discussion with them.
You see how many people we get to come to our meetings.
it's not our job to
There's a guy from the Latrobe Bulletin there, and there's one from the Green.
Okay, well, let's hope that they put this out there so people are aware of it.
Okay.
That's pretty much all we're talking about here, is awareness and education that there is another alternative.
Why don't they put it in an ad in the paper?
why don't they reach out to us and tell us they're
They did have a
interested?
big brochure, they run ads, but they did have a big brochure in the Latrobe paper that you've seen, how to supplement that was put in the paper a couple weeks ago. See, people don't even pay attention, but there was a big write-up about what people could do to get involved. But
It's not our job to promote other businesses. If they're interested in coming in here, we'd be more than happy to talk with
okay,
them.
so you are willing to
Absolutely.
have a meeting with them if they contact you?
Absolutely.
Certainly, they can contact me, and we would certainly talk to them. We're never going to chase any business out of town.
Nah, I would hope not. I would hope not. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public would like to say anything? City manager's report, Wayne?
Just two things. First of all, in your packet, Jim gave you was the DUI task force statistics. And I just want to bring a couple things to your attention that, for example, there was 44 DUI arrests. 9 of them were in Latrobe. Now, you don't have this information, I do.
Okay. And it's not in my packet.
No, well,
It was in my packet.
The report is, but not the detail.
Oh, okay.
There, as far as non-traffic citations, of the 6, 2 of them were in Latrobe. And as far as underage drinking citations, of those 13 of them, 7 of them, over half, were in Latrobe. So there's been a really good response of having the DUI task force in the city. Next, that was my promo for Jim. The next thing is the budget is open for the public to review. It will be available for review, and then the board will be looking to vote on it in December. And I do want to make 2 changes, but I'll let you know the other minor changes.
Under the mayor's report, I just want to recognize again, Friday was Veterans Day, and we honor and pay tribute to all of our veterans, both living and gone, for their tremendous sacrifice. What else is coming up, guys? Other than the Christmas in Latrobe, Christmas in the neighborhood, start next Friday. Hope to see you and all your families out. Bring the kids down. Santa will be coming. Oh, we have reindeer again. We have reindeer. Cool. That was fun last year. And the turkey trot Saturday morning. No, Thanksgiving morning. I'm sorry, Thanksgiving morning. Anything else for the good of the order? We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.